Well, it's the holiday season, and you know what that means.
We are appreciating and we are celebrating community of 2024. Hello, everyone. I'm Claudine Ewing.
And I'm Pete Gallivan, and we have assembled a collection of our favorite stories from the past year.
We hope you enjoy. What does it feel like to be the new Poet Laureate for Buffalo?
I feel honored to have the opportunity to utilize the skill set of literary arts to be able to expand perspectives.
And to be a woman doing this.
Yeah, to be a woman, you know, it's a lot I can say. You know, there's a lot of fierceness in me, confidence and things like that, different experiences that I've had that I'm going to incorporate into this process. I feel, you know, like I said, honored.
The Bills are playoff bound and players are helping Western New York. Buffalo Bills defensive end Greg Russo teamed up with the YWCA of Western New York for a single mom shopping experience. He adopted families this holiday season. Each mother received a $600 gift card to Target.
I have 7 wonderful women who are going to be able to shop at the expense of the foundation.
For me, it doesn't really matter who it is. It's anybody who can kind of use uplifting or it's a blessing. Anybody's up for it, and they were the ones on the receiving end this time.
It'll make us a home run. It's close to Christmas Day coming soon, and just tying up the loose ends with everything, it will be, I'm just grateful.
The days leading up to July 4th, 2004 were a blur for Johnny Resnick and Robbie Takak. Rehearsals, appearances, photo shoots, and then there was turning Buffalo's Art Deco masterpiece of the City Hall into center stage for a concert, the likes of which the Queen City has never seen. Take us back 20 years. What's it like to look out here and think about what happened here?
I mean, it was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
It was an amazing night. The lead up to it is what still strikes me the most. Like trying to figure out a way to get enough toilets.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! And like, you know, the stage and the
removing streetlights.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't know anything about the infrastructure project that it was going to turn into.
The idea was born out of a push from their record company to film a live DVD. Was there ever any question that Buffalo was going to be the place?
No, it had to be.
Yeah.
It had to be.
Yeah. And from the moment the lights went up and the band launched into Big Machine, the crowd that had packed into Niagara Square was buzzing. Many were still soaked from the showers earlier in the day during the Ani DeFranco show. The Goos ripped through about a half a dozen of their hits before the rain returned with a vengeance.
It feels good, don't it?
The thing that I remember, at one point we had to stop, and they were like, "You gotta stop," and then he and I were like, if we don't go back out there, they're gonna kill us. Like,
or leave, and we didn't want either of that.
We didn't want either of those things.
They did take one short break, but pushed through, instruments and other equipment failing along the way.
When it started really coming down, I thought to myself, this is gonna be incredible. Like, this is gonna look amazing in the video. And then we had something that was like 15 cameras shooting.
Yeah.
All of them went down except 3.
Yeah.
And these guys were hunting down like video from other people and
from
stuff.
like our aunt's video cameras and whatever they could just to make the end of it work.
Yeah.
What's the one image that comes to your mind when you think of that night?
You know what? The guy that climbed
The light pole.
the light pole and is just hanging off the light pole. But it's pouring rain. He's hanging on a lightning rod, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, that was
crazy.
amazing.
You guys all stick around.
The Rick James story, based on books and memoirs, will come to life on stage in his hometown. His daughter says it's about protecting the throne.
He was more than the sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and we want to give the backstory and, you know, all the tea. We want to give all the tea.
It's a production that is said to be memorable, and having it in his birthplace makes it special.
This is the roots. This is our foundation. If it wasn't for Buffalo, I wouldn't be here. So it's definitely surreal, and I feel like it's like a twilight moment.
The 2-hour production is jam-packed.
The highs and the lows, and we want to make sure that We don't sweep anything under the rug. You know, it's the good, the bad, the ugly, what most people's lives is composed of.
The things we likely didn't know will come out.
You know, the contribution that he made to our culture overall, the start with Neil Young, the start with Crosby, Stills and Nash, like everything that people don't know, that's what we want to, you know, magnify.
And playing the role of Rick James is Stokely from the group Mint Condition.
Or what did you have to do to tap into that inner Rick James?
Well, it's a process and it's still happening, but the first thing I did was just dive into, of course, all the music, the records, any interview, any documentary, everything I can find just to figure out what makes him tick, all the nuances.
And while we all know Super Freak, Stokely says his favorite song is this.
You and I, we fit together like a glove on hand. That's right.
Coming up next on Community, more of our favorites from 2024.
Meet Dr. Fred Archer, the pediatrician recently chaired Cycle Nation 2024, an event aimed at stopping the cycle of strokes by raising funds for research.
Bicycling, it's a great heart healthy activity because ironically, I just did my first round on the bikes here and it works your entire body.
That interview was on the morning of Sunday, October 27th at the Bills Fieldhouse before the Bills-Seahawks game in Seattle, a game he watched at home.
Somewhere between 6:09 and 6:10. The Bills scored another touchdown. We jumped up to celebrate, and apparently that's when I started breathing irregularly and turning some really not good shades of blue.
His nurse practitioner wife performed CPR. His 13-year-old son called 911.
This was actually due to an electrical event, an arrhythmia.
Snyder Fire and paramedics went into action.
For all intents and purposes, when you have died, because I went through 6 rounds of shocking with an AED, at least 2 rounds of epinephrine.
And he says sometimes the symptoms can be dramatic or subtle.
You don't realize that it's just, my heart's racing a little bit. Every day, our heart rate goes up, it goes down, it fluctuates, and normally within seconds, our heart corrects it. We're fine. It's when it becomes sustained in an irregular pattern that it becomes a problem. And that's what happened to me. And whether it was, doing that event that morning, I don't think it was that. I think it was just, this is what was going to happen that day.
And that episode has the doctor on a mission.
Number 1, making more people aware of knowing how to do CPR. Hands-only CPR. It saved my life. And that's something anybody can learn how to do.
He's ready to start a foundation to help fund CPR courses from the barbershop to the beauty salon, and making sure people are health literate and understand the recovery process.
Just how to navigate when you're in the hospital, especially related to cardiac events, because cardiac events don't discriminate.
2024 commUNITY Cup is awarded to Adam Nunez.
Sheer jubilation, and look at his smile as he holds the coveted award for the region's top football player. We sat down the day after at South Park High School.
Very unexpected, and I was happy I could make my sister proud, and that feeling is just a crazy feeling.
His sister Sade, just 21 years old, died in February after police say she fell out of an Uber on the expressway. Nunez wears her picture on a charm with wings around his neck.
I always questioned how I'm going to overcome adversity, but somehow, some way, still overcame adversity, and I just used that as motivation and not let me down, because I know she was with me, not physically, but I just know she here with me. So I used that as motivation to keep it pushing, and it looked like the results of this year, it paid off.
For sure, the South Park Spark running back slot and safety has been ripping it up. 224 carries for 2,468 yards, 34 touchdowns this season, setting the State Public High School Athletic Association single-game rushing record with 593 yards. He patterns himself after some familiar names.
James Cook or Jahmyr Gibbs, I really like those guys. They're very electric, and people always tell me that I'm electric.
The commUNITY Cup competition was tough.
To be in a room with 9 other great athletes like them, it was like Wow, my heart was pounding.
South Park had a great season, even though they came up short in the championship. Nunes plans to play football in college. He has some offers, but has yet to commit. Looking ahead in 5 years?
Probably getting drafted, for real.
What would that mean?
That would mean a lot. I don't know. It's like that would be unexplainable for my family, you know, after all we've been through. People telling me that I'm too small, and no, I'm not the biggest, not the strongest, but still, it's all about the mind. It's not on you, it's in you, and that's what my mom tells me all the time. So that's what I've been rocking along with.
And if you think he's just great on the football field, he's an honor roll student too.
6 feet under, getting under your skin.
Broadway. I mean, it's not Wednesday nights at Nietzsche's, but, you know, I guess it'll have to do it.
But it's all right, yeah.
Ani DeFranco was already a big name in the field of indie music, and now the Grammy winner has taken her talents to Broadway.
Yeah.
How does that all lead to here?
It's weird, isn't it? I mean, who can say? My journey to Broadway is probably one of the weirder ones.
One of the weirder ones because her focus was always on her music, and acting was never even a consideration.
I never imagined myself here. I never had the Broadway dream. You know, I didn't go that traditional pursuit. Instead, I have this sort of very long, circuitous relationship with the show.
That relationship began in 2010 when Hadestown creator Anais Mitchell decided to turn her fledgling musical into a concept album instead. She asked Ani to not only produce it, but also to sing the part of Persephone, the same role she's playing on Broadway today.
You know, I sort of think of myself, and she has referred to me as sort of the fairy godmother of the show. You know, I just helped her get it from 0 to 1, and then she carried it for another 13 years. You know, and evolved it and brought in all these other brilliant collaborators, and it became what it is now.
An update on the Hispanic Heritage Cultural Institute here on Niagara Street.
And joining us is the man with the plan, Kaz Rodriguez. Hello.
Thank you very much for being in our community. You never left it, but you know, for this special occasion, we really appreciate that.
We were here about a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Give us an update. Where do we stand today? I mean, construction's underway and looks like the foundation is laid.
The foundation is completed, you know, and first and foremost, I got to thank, you know, all our funding agencies, government, private, public, business, corporations, everyone that's really helped, you know, this project to this point. You know, but as everyone knows and the community has been asking, the foundation is complete. We're ready to go to our next phase, which is the core and the shell of the project. You know, we have already gone through the process of pre-bidding.
Una de las cosas que están planeando es para tener un radio y noticiero de televisión adentro del Instituto Cultural de Gerencia Hispana. Mientras que eso está en proceso, yo tuve en el adelanto lo que ya tienen un radio aquí dedicado a las voces latinos. One thing that they're working on is to get a new TV station and a radio station inside the Hispanic Heritage Cultural Center. Now, while that's in the works, I already got a sneak peek of the new radio station era that's already dedicated to uplifting these Latino voices.
This is the introduction you'll hear when you tune in to Radio Bilingüe on 88.7 WBFO from a radio station based in this office building.
I'm from South Florida. There's always been a presence in the media, Hispanic presence in the media down there. There's Univision, there's Telemundo, there's a number of other stations. But when I got here, I realized there's a local affiliates, and that's great. But then that specific attention to our culture, to our stories, to our way of life, like that wasn't there.
Up next on Community, our favorites from 2024. Stick around.
Adrian Wojnarowski's feeling at home again at St. Bonaventure.
It's been amazing to be back on campus and to be able to just walk the campus. Nice, I do. And there's such an energy around a college campus, and you forget that sometimes when you're away from it. How are classes? All right, keeping up, staying ahead, or somewhere in the middle? Ahead or like keeping up?
Somewhere in the middle.
That's good, that's right. As long as you're not behind. Behind's a bad place to be, because then you're always scrambling. I was always behind here. I was always scrambling.
Wojnarowski's far more organized this time around at Bana, transitioning from the NBA insider seen on ESPN to the Bonnie's men's basketball general manager.
Coach Schmidt has built this program into one of the elite in our conference, and so every day my mandate is to help keep them there and grow it for our current players, for future players, and just use again the relationships that I have around basketball to give unique experiences and unique access to our players and our staff. It's been great. I love being around our guys, and you know, it's campus. It's, you know, just trying to help Mark and our coaching staff, and I'm having a lot of fun.
NIL and recruiting, the two biggest things Woj focusing on as GM, using his past in the present.
You want to get guys to take a look at St. Bonaventure. And so certainly there's very often an interest with players, with their families, with their coaches about my history and my relationships in the NBA. And that's a big part of what we're able to sell here.
What did you get your degree in?
Mass communication.
Okay, that's what I'm studying right now.
Are you?
I have a minor in business administration.
Did you meet the great Freddie Coleman?
Yeah,
you know, yeah. Mr. Mansfield.
That's my guy, yeah.
There's no question I get asked a lot of Kobe Bryant stories by kids, you know, a lot of Jason Tatum stories, and it's fun to share my experiences with them. Just a tremendous job of playmaking, facilitating for others, getting his stuff downhill, guarding, you know. He's really leading our group.
Woj admits he's still figuring out the GM role as each day comes and goes. He feels there's been early success in just his first 2 months on the job.
I think pleasantly surprised just how much the relationships that I've been able to build around the world, how many people want to help St. Bonaventure basketball. Number one, because they know the program that Coach Schmidt has built, and that players are going to get better. They're going to develop here both on the court and off the court. And I think a trust in the relationships that I've had with them, you know, that we're going to take good care of their guys.
By bringing them home with Woj to St. Bonaventure.
Chella Watson has made numerous headlines over the last year at UB for all the work she's put out onto the court. She's already reached 1,500 career points, but there's a whole other side to the women's basketball standout guard that might just surprise you. Chances are you know the name Chella Watson. One of the nation's top scorers in women's basketball, countless school records. That's all on the court. But who is Chella Watson off it?
I'm really goofy. I like to have fun with my friends. I like shopping a lot. I'm a sneakerhead, and I really, really love music.
But above all, at the core of her life and basketball career is her commitment to family.
It's so hard for me to talk about my mom without like getting emotional, because it just gets like that with me. It's not the same when it's other people and it's not your family, like just being there for you, texting you every day, checking up on you, like just genuine love.
That level of loyalty now replicated through her coaches and teammates at UB as Watson decided to return to the Bulls for her 5th and final year of eligibility.
She's 1 in a million. She's 1 in a million. Name somebody that's not chasing the 6-figure check, or to go sit in a locker room that's a little fancier than ours. And she truly is the living proof of that. She could have gone anywhere she wanted.
I've never played 2 years in a row. So like my freshman year at Cincy, I played, but then I sat out that next year. And then at Upstate, when I transferred, I sat out. So I haven't had 2 full strong years. So I got the chance to do that now.
She has deeper values and deeper relationships and a deeper purpose, and that's to win a MAC championship here and be around the people that she loves.
Watson, searching for stability in Buffalo, has not only found success on the court, but in the relationships she's built along the way.
You're never gonna find a superstar that has the humility and kindness and grace and just lives her life the way that Chella does. When your best player is of the temperament of Chella Watson, you have a healthy locker room, you have a healthy culture, you have just everything going your way.
And as she makes her final push to the pros this season, Watson's production on the floor has become a testament to the person she has become both professionally and personally.
My career after this, that I'll be able to work towards helping my mom, and like my ultimate life goal is to make sure my mom doesn't work. She's not stressing over anything, like she doesn't want anything, she doesn't need anything, because like I've already made that possible for her to have whatever she needs.
If you think the basketball piece is the best piece about her, it is just who she is and what she stands for, how she was raised, and just the way she conducts herself on a daily basis.
Watson's character off the court, a direct reflection of her countless success on it.
The Postal Battalion? They think the only thing we good for is to deliver some damn mail.
The 6888, the story of the war's only women's Army Corps unit of color, which stars Kerry Washington. Tyler Perry wrote and directed the project.
The soldiers have not heard from their loved ones, and their loved ones have not heard from them. When there is no mail, there is low morale. 6888 Battalion!
And there is a reason Western New Yorkers may want to key in on this movie. Here's Ron Plantz to tell us why.
Nowadays, we may take mail delivery for granted, especially with the holidays, but back in the Second World War in the 1940s, it was crucial to the morale of the men and women on the front lines who were overseas especially. There was a special lady honored in Buffalo last year at the Central Park Post Office, and she was a member of that 6888 Battalion in World War II. Her name was Indiana Hunt Martin, and her unit as a private in the Women's Auxiliary Army Corps, or WACS, was the 6888 Central Postal Directory Battalion, which, as the first African-American women's unit sent to Europe, actually processed and routed the mail to an estimated 7 million American soldiers and sailors and other personnel serving in Europe during World War II. It was not an easy time for young black women with discrimination and harassment.
That's what she said. She wanted to do what she could to help the war effort. So that's why they all joined. Plus, they all wanted to make sure that everyone understood that they loved this country just like everyone else.
Janice Martin says she recently visited Scotland, England, and France, where her mother processed the mail.
They didn't feel that their service was really an important job. They just knew they had 2 years of backed up mail that they had to go through, and when they arrived, it was like 10 airplane hangars full of mail, and everything was precision. And they knocked off all that mail in 3 months.
And despite her later work with the state labor department, Hunt Martin, until her death at age 98 in 2020, often stopped by this Central Park Post Office branch on Manhattan Avenue, which is now named in her honor as a fitting tribute, just as her wartime mail unit is now featured in a Netflix movie and a Broadway play.
Mail and her was inseparable.
Unlike some other folks here, we have the most to prove. Now is where you show the proof. This is our mission. And we will not fail.
And believe it or not, that's it for another year of Community.
It's been great bringing all of these fun stories along with the music and just telling the stories of people. We look forward to seeing you in 2025. If you have any ideas, just hit us up on social media. We'll see you in 2025.
Happy New Year.